Hello YouTube, I've just bought a microphone for my GoPro, so this is a test to see how well it works. And I can think of no better place to test it than at Zao Fox Village. I'll be taking the Shinkansen from Sendai down to Zao Village, which is about a 13-minute train ride, and then a 20-minute taxi ride from the station up to the village. The Shinkansen costs about 3,000 yen to get down there, and the taxi is around 4,000 yen to get up to the village, so I'm looking at around 14,000 yen to get there and back. Alright, so the Shinkansen's leaving in around 50 minutes, so I should probably get going. I dropped my fucking camera. But before I go into that, let's talk about my day. First of all, in my attempts to get a Shinkansen ticket to Zao Village, I stumbled upon this tourist information centre. It's right in the middle of Sendai Station, so it wasn't so much as stumbled, but walked right into. After speaking to the staff about getting to Fox Village, they sold me a return Shinkansen ticket for 3,200 yen, which is almost half the price that I expected it. They were also able to organise a taxi voucher for me that would get me from Zao Station to Fox Village and back for a total of 8,000 yen, which is exactly what I was expecting to pay. And on another upside, they gave me this little origami fox, which I am now using as a bookmark. On a side note, the taxi driver didn't seem to know what the voucher was, so after a quick phone call to who I think was his boss, he did seem happy to take it, which just makes me think that they don't often deal with these vouchers, so be prepared to actually speak to them about it. All in all, I recommend anyone travelling from Sendai to Fox Village to do it through the Tourist Information Centre. It made things a hell of a lot easier for me. Up next, I was interviewed by a journalist for a Japanese newspaper and Facebook page, which I think was kind of neat. I'll leave a link to all of that somewhere in this video if anyone would like to see it. The reporter was so kind to actually give me some of her footage, as my camera's SD card had an error while I was filmed holding the foxes. Now on to Fox Village itself. My first major concern was that it would actually be a bunch of unhappy foxes forced into being entertainment for guests. Thankfully, that wasn't the case. The foxes all seemed very happy and the enclosure was massive, so they had plenty of room to run around and enjoy themselves. In the video, you may have seen some unhappy or even rough looking foxes, but as far as I was concerned, they were the older foxes. In fact, if you think about it, they're probably doing better off there than if they were actually out in the wild. Interactions with the foxes is minimal. You can't stroke or pick any of them up, which does make sense because at the end of the day, they are still wild animals. I did on multiple occasions have a fox or two nibbling at my feet or my bag, but nothing that seemed aggressive. though I can see that they could switch attitudes very fast, especially when they're play fighting with each other or legit fighting over food. That said, you do get the opportunity to hold and stroke some of the more tamer foxes, which is an extra 400 yen, but totally worth it. Another worry for me is that the foxes you get to hold are sedated. Now, I'm definitely no expert, but after seeing it for myself, I don't believe that was the case. The foxes did seem very tired, but keep in mind that foxes are nocturnal, and I'm pretty sure that you'd be tired too if someone was picking you up in the middle of the night. I'd also like to point out that the foxes that were out to be held had been walking around before and after the holding session. Now to get back to that last clip. I totally dropped my GoPro into a big pile of foxes, and you can see a link to that footage again somewhere in this video. It took me about 2 hours to find my GoPro, which unfortunately had the skeleton case on, so some of the foxes did manage to bite through and shatter the screen. The staff were very helpful, though after a while they did tell me that it was more than likely that the foxes would bury the camera. Eventually I asked if I could search everywhere, which would include the non-walking areas, and after some persistence they did say that I could search the entire enclosure, which was in a way a bonus. After 2 hours of searching and on my final sweep to the exit, I did eventually find it in mud and fox poop. The skeleton case was scratched and the touchscreen shattered, but everything seems to be in working order. And after seeing the footage, I consider it completely worth it. That's all today. See you next time.